This is Casey Kasem. Now, on with the countdown.
Hello and welcome one and all. Welcome to the first annual Top 40 Countdown. Now, like I've said in the last couple weeks, I'm going to rank the 40 movies I've seen in the theaters this year. This will run across two videos. First video will do 40 to 21. Second video will do 20 all the way up to number 1. I'm very excited. Let's get started, shall we?
Let's get started.
Number 40. AntMan and Wasp: Quantumania. What do you get when you combine bad special effects, a terrible script, cringy dialogue, and boring characters? Why, you get this movie. This might represent the bottom of the barrel for Marvel, and judging by the box office returns, boy, oh boy, things are just looking pretty bad for the MCU.
A lot of ants.
Number 39, Exorcist Believer. This is supposed to be the beginning of another Exorcist trilogy. I don't know. The movie did not do very well. It's not very good. It's your standard run-of-the-mill possession story. Not exactly fun or scary. Number 38, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Oh my goodness. No film made me angrier this year. Indiana Jones is one of the most iconic characters in films. So Disney decides, hey, let's bring him back and shit all over his character and try to replace him with another character, a strong, diverse female character. Well, no, it didn't work. It was terrible. Nothing against Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I generally find her funny, but she was so ill-cast in this. The story's terrible. Everything about this movie's terrible. And it lost $400 million, so I think that's the end of that experiment. Number 37, Plane. Remember Plane? No? I don't blame you. It was out in January for a couple weeks. I don't even know why I saw it. Gerard Butler, he's a captain of a plane. It lands in a territory with a lot of terrorists and, carnage ensues. It would have been that old school, debuted directly at Blockbuster type of movie for those who know what I'm talking about.
And people go to their local Blockbuster video.
Number 36, Scream 6. Please stop. Please stop making these. They're boring. They're terrible. You could figure out plot immediately. I knew who the killers were in the first 10 minutes of the movie. This is a franchise that has run out of gas.
Out of gas.
Number 35, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Interesting premise. We'll take a couple pages or chapters, rather, from the Dracula book, turn it into a movie, but there's just not enough meat on this bone for it to be an entire film. Some of the special effects and cinematography is cool, but the story is just kind of long, and it's not very engaging. Number 34, A Haunting in Venice. This is a shame because I liked the first two movies of this trilogy. Murder on the Orient Express was great. I thought Death on the Nile was really good. This one, I like Agatha Christie. I like detective stories from this era, but I don't know. It was a snooze fest.
Hey, no snoozing, man.
Number 33, The Flash. Yeah, the DCU is just in a bad way. The Flash was very forgettable. It was cool to see Michael Keaton back in the Batman costume. That was cool, but this is a movie that if they made it like 10 years ago would have made a lot of money, but now these movies are a dime a dozen. And speaking of a dime a dozen, number 32, Shazam. Shazam 1 was great, fun. This, not so much. Zach Levi, I like him as Shazam. The story is just kind of boring. And we've seen this so many times, it just fades into the background.
Everything fades into mist.
Number 31, Boogeyman. This was a horror movie that came out in the spring. A girl and her sister, they lose their mother, then some supernatural entity decides to go after them. You know, watch it on Netflix. It's okay. Number 30, Air. This is the movie about the Air Jordan sneakers, the early Nike rise to power. It has an amazing cast. It has great acting. It's just, like I said at the time, do we really, really need a movie about a sneaker? Number 29, Saw 10. Now, this is, I understand 29 is pretty low, but if you're a fan of Saw, this is probably the best movie since the second one. It's pretty well done. Tobin Bell is great. The story's fun. The traps are fun. It's bloody. It's just what you would expect out of a Saw movie. If you like them, give them a go. Number 28, Napoleon. I was really disappointed in this one. I really wanted an epic, and what I got was half epic and half love story. I mean, it's cool that we saw, a little bit about Napoleon and Josephine, but it ate up so much of the film. The acting's fine. The battle scenes are filmed well, but it's both too long and too rushed, if that makes any sense. I was expecting a lot more from this film, and was ultimately disappointed. Number 27, Five Nights at Freddys. I liked this movie. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know much about the lore. My problem was it was a PG-13 horror movie, so it kind of has to go light on the horror. But it can't be a rated R horror movie because the fan base is like mostly kids. And if you would have made it an R movie, you might have lost a lot of money. It did make a lot of money, this one. It did really well. You're going to see other movies. We'll see how they are. But, this one's fine. Absolutely fine.
Totally fine.
Number 26, Silent Night, the recent John Woo film. This came out a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's doing very well. And that's a shame because it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. This is the movie where the main character doesn't say a single word of dialogue, and that works mostly, in all the action scenes, like at the very beginning and most of the end. But, in the middle of the film, when he's not speaking, but then he would only talk to his wife through text message, I was just like, all right, this little novelty is wearing off. It's a pretty good revenge movie, though. It would be a great, Saturday night stuck at home in the winter movie. So if you like action films, you're stuck at home one snowy Saturday night this winter, definitely check it out.
Check it out.
Number 25, Thanksgiving. I like Thanksgiving. Again, a good horror movie, pretty violent, pretty bloody, pretty well acted, decent premise. Not the most original in terms of story, but you know what? What the hell? Another film to watch. And I have a feeling this might develop a cult following. But, time will tell with that.
Only time will tell.
Number 24, The Creator. I wanted to like this movie more than I did. It's a sci-fi film. It's original. It's not part of a franchise. The special effects were amazing. The story's okay. It's good, it's just not great. And it really didn't do well. It kind of was here and then gone, which is a shame because we want original sci-fi. We do not want, endless remakes and reboots. And I was really hopeful that this movie would be a success. But it really wasn't. It's not terrible. It's definitely worth your time if you're a sci-fi fan. Number 23, Cocaine Bear. This is my first review video. It was Cocaine Bear. This is a wild premise. I still laugh when I think about it. I thought the effects were pretty cool, the killing was pretty cool, the acting was decent. It's a solid but not spectacular film. It did really well too, so that was pleasing. I always like when new things do well.
I am very pleased.
Number 22, Knock at the Cabin. This is the most recent M. Night Shyamalan film. I really enjoyed it a lot. Dave Bautista's great. It's an interesting premise. It doesn't have that, M. Night twist at the end. I mean, not so much, because it's based off of a novel. Yeah, this is one another one I would probably recommend to rent at some point. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I think you may too. And number 21, Mission Impossible 7. Yeah, this is much lower for this movie than I thought. The problem with this was your special effects were great, but you saw all the really cool stuff in the trailer. So when it happens on screen, you're like, I already know this. Tom Cruise is great. He's always great in these movies. The story is a little weak, actually, and it's a shame. This was probably, after Mission Impossible 2, the next worst one in the franchise.
Weak! He's weak! Weak! Weak!
Alright, so that brings us up to number 20, which we will discuss next week. So, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Hit that like button. Hit it. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Share this video with friends and enemies alike. And, as always, thank you for giving me your valuable time, and I'll see you next week. Take care.
You take care now.